Good to see you guys again. Anyways, back to story time. Anyways, this is Ball TV. If it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe and so that you can get notification on the next video I am posting. So today I'm gonna tell you guys a story. You are not ready for this story. You are not ready for this story. Anyways, I don't know where I can start, but let's start. Title of the story is How My Neighbor's Boyfriend, fiance to be, scammed the whole village. The dude scammed the whole village. Let's begin. So this story happened back home. I was a little bit younger, and we had this neighbor. The girl was so beautiful, well, according to us. All the kids in the neighborhood, everyone was like, oh my God, she's so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And anytime, she comes home from work or from wherever she's coming from, she'll come with candies and all that stuff. Sometimes it's granuts, should be like peanut, well, that's what they call it here. She will like just call us and, give us some and all that stuff. So all the kids in the neighborhood really loved her. Okay? All right, let's continue. And then one day we heard that she's getting married because she got engaged. And as you know, back home, if you're getting married, they have to do the dowry thing. Dowry payment is basically the groom telling the bride's family, thank you for bringing up, this beautiful girl, and thank you for all the hard work, thank you for educating her, and here's a thank you gift. Okay, so of course this guy but the groom that we heard that was about to marry her, he lived overseas, and I think the groom was living in Belgium. Okay, he was a doctor in Belgium. All right, so then of course the rumors started going on and blah blah blah, and then fine, and she had three sisters. She's the one that lived in that village. One sister lived in a nearby city, and the other sister was in the neighboring country for her studies, right? All right. So then, of course, the family started making arrangements. And while they're making arrangement of this girl, the second sister, also we heard that she was planning to get married, but her groom is in USA. The groom was in US. So it was, and back home, if some of you guys know, it's like people think, right? I guess because of all the media attention on the West, people think that if you move to the West, the life in the West is like the best life ever and blah, blah, blah. But they don't realize you live in your own land that you own, you live on your own farm that you own, you grow your own crops that is organic, you have sunshine all year round, you have all the vitamin D that you need. So people don't realize they're actually living a good life back home, unless if you're poor of the poor of the poor, but still it's not compared to here. Here everybody, at least maybe 99% of people, maybe 90, on date, on a debt, like you are owing something, either you're owing credit card, or either you are still owing the house you are staying in, or you are still owing your car. Like everything is like you basically live on credit. People don't realize that. Most people back home, at least 99%, don't owe anybody. If someone has a new house, they built it from scratch or they bought it. If someone is driving a car, if you see anybody driving a car on the road back home, they own it. They own it. They've paid for it. If you see someone in their farm, they own the farm. Nobody, they don't owe anybody for that land. So those are the two, maybe if I say differences or similarities that people here and back home. But point is, the news back home is that the life in the West is easy and money grows on trees, and life is basically a breeze. But that's not the case. But anyways, back to the story. Second sister is getting married to someone that lives in the US. Okay, and the third sister that was about to graduate, she is we also had that she's gonna be getting engaged to the fiance that lives in the neighboring country. I think they said the fiance was where was it, Tanzania or South Africa, one of those places. But anyways, so the news was just going around, and we were like, okay, everyone is waiting, let's wait for the big sister. And back home, if you know, back home, neighbors are basically family. If you are getting married, your neighbors are going to show up because uninvited, or obviously you can tell them, but they consider themselves as family because people live in community back home. Like back home, if you do something wrong, a neighbor can basically correct you, and they won't even tell your parents about it, right? So people live in community where people watch over each other, people help each other. That is the way people live back home. So anyways, guys, we have 3 weddings to plan, but we have to start with the one that has a groom in Belgium. So then, of course, people started preparation for the wedding and everything and all that. And then we had the news that the groom in Belgium cannot come physically for the wedding because there's a planned surgery that he cannot stop. Remember, he's a doctor. And then of course, and back home, usually if you are paying dowry for your wife, you can always send a representative. It can be your brother, your relative. They can come and still stand in for you because you guys are just paying the dowry, and when the actual wedding comes, you can always come, right? So they did that, and of course my auntie was invited. Of course, we were there, man. Like, we had so much fun, more kids to play with, obviously, food and all that stuff. Yeah, so that was it. And then the next was for the second sister, and apparently the groom cannot make it too. They still pay the bride price, did all the parties, fine. And the third one that has a groom in South Africa, the same thing, but this thing was getting weird. We're like, dude, where is the guy? Like, how come all these 3 sisters are getting, all this dowry paid on their head in absentia? Groom is not here. So then, of course, and then it was Christmas, usually Christmas time, people get together and all the family gathered, and the 3 sisters were there. And now they said that the groom is going to be visiting. So then, of course, we were all curious, like, this beautiful girl, everyone wanted to see this groom, and everything was done in his absence. So the groom came, but he didn't come to their family house. So he called I think he called the girl to go and meet him or something. That's how the story was. And then of course she just went and met the guy and all that stuff and came back. And then the other sisters also, they were saying that, oh, their husband is in town, and one sister will go and see and come back, the other sister will go and see and come back. They said, okay, they need to start planning for the wedding. Okay, I'm coming back, guys, with the wedding preparation. See you in the next video. So guys, wedding preparation. So people started planning for the wedding and all that stuff. While they're planning for the wedding, because the wedding it took a while, because I remember after that Christmas season, everybody went back and nobody was talking about the wedding or about anything. And then all of a sudden, the groom is gonna be coming back for the wedding. And then apparently, all the three sisters were pregnant for each of their grooms. No complaint. Remember, dowries were paid, so technically they are married to their grooms. And then of course they started planning the wedding and all that stuff. And then once the wedding day arrived, the groom came, the groom and his family came. When the groom arrived, the big sister, of course, she ran, oh, my husband, blah, blah, blah. And then she, of course, welcomed them and she went to do something. And then as the uncles were coming, oh, the second wife, the second sister, oh, mom, did you meet? Come and meet my husband. She's introducing the same guy she didn't know her older sister introduced this guy. And then, of course, the one she left to go and bring them some refreshment, the younger sister was passing and saw him in the living room like, oh, my darling, I didn't know you are coming today. Oh, my God, good to see you, blah, blah, blah. Uncle, this is my husband. This is blah, blah, blah. He's from South Africa. And remember, sister number 2 is like, oh, this is my husband from the US. Sister number 1, my husband from Belgium. And for the US, he said he's a engineer. To the first daughter, to the first sister, he said he's a doctor from Belgium. To the younger sister, he said he's a professor at the University of, yes, that was South Africa. The University of South Africa. So then at one point, it got weird because now all the three sisters came together. They are each trying to introduce the guy. They're like, what do you mean? This is Thomas. No, he is George. No, this is Samuel. So he gave the girls all different names. Apparently, His Royal Highness was dating three sisters unknowingly. He paid bride price for the three sisters. That is a player. My thing is, how come they didn't see pictures? They didn't, that's what family started asking. And then they were like, no, he doesn't like taking pictures. If you have a man that is afraid of taking pictures, what is he hiding? So, ladies and gentlemen, His Royal Highness, Mr. Player, paid bride price for three sisters unknowingly. And the three sisters didn't know they were dating the same guy. How can they? One, the big sister, the husband is a doctor in Belgium. The second sister, husband is an engineer in the US. The third sister, husband is a professor in South Africa, University of South Africa. Dude, who are you? And the icing in the cake, all the three sisters are pregnant. That story shook the core of the village. Even some people started singing. They had when there's plays, it became a play. It became a drama. When there's event in the village, that is a topic of discussion. And such a thing never happened. It was, never heard of. How do you explain that? They said it was a drama. the sisters were fighting. It was drama of soap opera, like the bold and the beautiful got nothing on them. And then of course the family tried to settle. How do you settle? None of the girls want to let go of the guy. You want to hear the bombshell? His Highness, Mr. Belgium, Mr. USA, Mr. South Africa, in fact, never left the country. That's the story he came up with. He was from a wealthy family. He was doing a business of tires. They do assemble and manufacture tires for vehicles, so they make a lot of money. So he was from a wealthy family. He can basically afford to live in the US or travel to Belgium or live in South Africa. But he was not. He never traveled in any of those three countries. The only place we heard that he traveled to was France to go and do his master's. Dude never left. And then we started laughing because we were like, wow, the worst case scenario could have been if he was like a jobless somebody. But no, he came from a very good family. But why did he have to lie? He basically played three sisters and they're all pregnant for him. So traditionally, he's married to them unless he returns the bride price. But traditionally, he's married to all the three sisters. That was insane. Anyways, guys, that is it for now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.